Hello and welcome to another episode of Rico'S Rants. I'm your host, Rico DiGiorgio. First off, I'm battling a sickness, so I have a sinus infection, so I sound really stuffed up because I am. I'm on antibiotics and everything, so I'm just trying to get better. Like, thankfully, I don't sound like fucking Harvey Fierstein anymore, but I'm still congested. So I did see some, like, because I missed like 10 days of work, I've been watching a lot of shit. That being said, I also went to the movies tonight just because, fuck, dude, I was feeling better. I want to get out of the house. So I went and saw Aladdin. 2019 Aladdin. Guy Ritchie Aladdin. Now, that being said, I know a lot of you are going to possibly fucking roll your eyes, but, like, I'm a 90s kid. Like, I was born in 91. So seeing Aladdin, this new one, was going to be a mixture of nostalgia and criticism, no matter what the situation was going to be. Not only was I a 90s kid, I was a Disney kid. Like, I fucking loved Aladdin. Like, I played as Aladdin when I was a kid. Like, that, my niece and I, who, we would play together because we were children. The whole thing. My niece is the same age as me, but that's not really the case. We're like cousins, basically. And we played as Aladdin and Jasmine, and we like she had like a tent thing, and we it was part of our childhood. Robin Williams was and is a national fucking treasure, and was always part of my childhood. Like I remember seeing so many of his movies, whether they were serious adult ones or kids ones, and loving every single one of them. That being said, when it was announced that they were going to make a Aladdin remake, my first thought was, okay, I want to see that. My next thought was, holy fuck, who's going to play the genie? And then, should they make it? Like, why? Don't do that. And then I was like, okay, if Robin was alive, he would want us to be courteous and understanding of whoever was going to play the genie for the next generation, because I got my Aladdin movie. The '90s kids, the '80s kids, whatever. We got our Aladdin. So I was torn because I'm like trying to think for the next generation. Be like, let them have their movie. Let this new generation have their own Aladdin. Just like uh, Beauty and the Beast and fucking Little Mermaid. Eventually they'll make a Little Mermaid movie, and I'm trying to look at it from a perspective of my nephews. Like, my nephews are going to come to me and be like, "Dude, I saw Aladdin." What do you know? And I was like, "Yeah, I saw Aladdin. What Aladdin you talking about?" So I'm trying to keep an open mind, and I really love the filmmaker Guy Ritchie. Big fan of Snatch and Rock and Rolla and the Sherlock Holmes movies. I think he's a phenomenal filmmaker, a British Tarantino, sort of. And I do like his quick, fast editing type of style. I really do. But when it was announced that Guy Ritchie was going to direct this fucking Aladdin, I was like, that's a weird, weird choice. But okay, he does a lot of street characters. Aladdin would probably be the most street savvy character of all the Disney characters. So okay, I could see the appeal. Then it was announced Will Smith was going to play the genie, and one, I was really happy it was going to be at least Will Smith because I had heard rumors of Kevin Hart, I had heard rumors of The Rock. I'm glad it wasn't either of those. Will Smith had the hardest job, and he's quoted as saying that he was terrified of doing this, and I get it. You know, you can kind of like squeak by with the Jumanji sequel because it's not really about Robin Williams' character. It's an expansion. It's not Jumanji 2, it's Jumanji something else. It's not a direct sequel to the first Jumanji. This is a remake, and you're going to have an iconic character like the genie, which Robin Williams, it, no one really can compare. But at least Will Smith tried his best, and he did a good enough job. I got to give him credit. He made it his own. I still prefer Robin Williams' version, but so one thing I'll also do like is that the filmmakers really tried to make the cast not white. They made them Arabic. They made them, Middle Eastern. They made them Indian. They chose people of differing nationalities. One of them was Indian. One of them was Egyptian. One of them was this. One of them was that. Persian. I thought that at least they're going in the right direction. They're not whitewashing this. They're not Prince of Persia this shit. They're not what was that other fucking gods of Egypt or something with Christian Bale as fucking Moses or some shit. Like they weren't doing what most films are constantly doing, which drives us all fucking crazy. They actually went that extra leap, and I appreciate that. However, some of the actors they chose, I was just bored by. Uh, the actor who played Aladdin, the titular character, boring. Just his rage was stiff and wooden to just okay. Like he never wowed me, as well as him singing. If that was him singing, there were parts where he almost Shatnerizes it, like he emphasizes sort of sing talks and then sings very beautifully. Where he goes, it's very guttural and harsh the way he would do this. And I don't know if it was, I don't think it was his decision, but like for the part where he sings, in the Disney one, it's riff raff, street rat, I don't buy that, blah, blah, blah. In this one, he goes, riff raff, street rat, I don't buy. Like, it went from really harsh to really melodic, and it didn't flow well. Uh, but for the most part, I was into. He looked enough like how I guess a live action Aladdin would look. Personally, I would have preferred Rami Malek or Dev Patel or someone. Just this guy was just not. He just wasn't good enough actor, and I get they were trying to go for an unknown, but I don't know, man. He just didn't wow me. The other cast members, the actor who played Jafar, man, one, way too pretty, way too good looking. There is something about the animated version of Jafar, which is just he oozes villainy. He draws out his mouth in every emphasis and syllable, and it looks grotesque. And this guy was just a very, very good looking guy. But that wouldn't have really mattered if he could act, and he really was just super bland. I made a joke on the podcast that I do, Podeskew, where we before we'd even really heard, like the first teaser had a very small amount of his voice, and I was just like, dude, this motherfucker instead of saying "bring me the lamp," was gonna say "bring me the lamp," and motherfucker, I was right. He was just very one dimensional. Even when he was trying to be explosive and angry, it came off not so much a super villain. It came off like a temper tantrum. It just was really kind of just didn't work. Uh, Also, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I miss Gilbert Gottfried as Iago. Like Alan Tudyk, who I do enjoy as an actor, as well as a voice actor, and I think he's infinitely talented. And he did the justice as a parrot by playing a parrot. You know, he did the like, but with really like emphasis on being a parrot. I almost would have preferred they not give him a voice at all because it was just like it didn't really do much for the character. The character was too much of a parrot where it's like why even have someone else do the voice. Uh, Also, as much as I love Frank Welker, because like I'm a Puritan, I love voice actors that and Frank Welker is a voice god. Like Abu the monkey was one of the bigger highlights of the original film. Was just came off really creepy and weird looking in this because it looked too realistic, and I thought that you know I just the movie just there's some things that you really don't want to see. You don't want to see a Boo looking too realistic, even though it's a realistic movie, I guess. But also, it was just he just didn't do anything. He was just kind of bland. Everything was bland. With and when they were trying to go super stylized, like the crazy fucking show tunes, there were parts where you going into this, you just hope they nail certain things. They don't, and the ones that you're like, maybe they'll get this right, and when they do that, the ones that you're not expecting it, you're really really surprised. For example, the song Prince Ali, the whole fucking Prince Ali, da 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 da, Bali Baba, fucking is amazing. It kills it. There's still one part where I like wish they had done one final thing where like the elephant kicks through into the palace like in the animated film, but they didn't do that. They did one whole other thing where Genie is when they're about to do that, Prince Ali like fucking note. They do a twist where like they're waiting for the Sultan to like approve it, so they keep going, and they hang that for like a good 10 seconds, and it's good. I liked this. In comparison, the sequence for Friend Like Me, which any moderate Disney fan knows that song, was awful. This version was so flashy and not even in a good way. At least the Disney one, you could bend realities and fuck around, but it just was this. I know I'm gonna sound fucking ridiculous, but it came off really millennial. It came off really 2019, and I just felt like, yeah, I'm that grumpy asshole. I'm 20. I'm almost 28. And I'm that curmudgeon be like, yeah, man, in my day, Aladdin was like this. But you know what? For just this film, it just came off weird. So I'm sure the new generation will love this with all the references to the modern 2019 shit, which is fine. But it didn't do it for me. And even if like they had taken out all the music, like Stephanie had said, like it seemed like the musical aspect was should have been separate. Like they should just not have done the music. They should not have done the singing and all that shit. Just make a straight up gritty Aladdin movie with no music. And I think it almost looks like they filmed one whole movie and then said, "Fuck, we need the music. Let's put the music in." And the music helped a little bit, but not a lot to really wow the audience. Uh, one thing, Jasmine, the actress who played Jasmine, I think her name was Naomi Scott. She did a great job. I was more impressed with her character than I was from the original. I was more into Jasmine's storyline because it talks about how how she wants to be salted because she's a but she can't because she's a woman. And in Agrabah culture, it's just you can't do that. The thing's gonna lag a little bit. Whatever. No one really watches this shit, anyways. It's all right. So for them to make her character really interesting, I thought was a nice touch. Uh, I also think there should be a rule, which is if you have a Disney classic movie, you don't need to add new songs. We like the old songs. We don't need a new one. Her song that she has was unnecessary and actually kind of stopped the movie dead for like a good 10, like 5 minutes where I was just like, wow, that was jarring. It was weird. It was stylized weird. It was a powerful song and fucking what's her fucking sing, but unnecessary. Just filler where it was already too full. And to emphasize on that, the first 20 minutes is jam packed with so much shit that you don't even give a fuck about the characters. The first 20 minutes is should just be about Aladdin and Jasmine separately struggling, going through their trappedness and wanting to be free for very different perspectives. This one clumped both of them in one scene. Like, you don't even get to see Jasmine escape the palace, even with her handmaiden friend, like, or anything like that. She's just out in Agrabah. And you're kind of like, well, what? How difficult was this for her? And lumping these two characters, forcing them to meet immediately, you just don't give a fuck. Even if you are seeing this for the first time and never seen the original one, you just don't care. Uh, I kind of felt like the Cave of Wonders could have been bigger and better. I guess I don't know, man. I just felt like it had nothing. It really wasn't me being a kid being wowed by a movie because I'm 27. I can rewatch the original Aladdin and be like, this is still fucking amazing. And then compared to this newer one, I'm like, yeah, it's okay. It's fine. It was a 6 out of 10. Sorry, it's going to be gross for a second. I'm wiping my nose. Uh, oh, The Handmaid. Jasmine's handmaid was awesome in this movie. And that's my point, is if you are more entertained by the handmaiden of Jasmine than you are of your titular character, you done fucked up. I remember trying to play. I'm like, who the fuck is this woman? She's from SNL. Well, she quit, but like I was like, oh man, she was fucking funny in this. How do I know her? she was she was good. I also there's a twist at the beginning slash end where it's Will Smith as a man on a boat with his family, his wife. You never see her face, but as you're going through the movie, you're like, that's gonna be the handmaiden, and his two children. And he's telling the story of Aladdin and everything because they see a bigger ship and they said, why can't we have a ship like that, Dad? And blah, blah, blah. And he's basically, the lesson is sometimes bigger isn't better. Sometimes being lavish and rich doesn't make you richer. Sometimes just being happy with a family. The ultimate irony is that Aladdin ends up becoming like Sultan at the end, so, or at least married to the Sultan and living in a fucking mansion palace thing. So it all kind of worked out for Aladdin, but ultimately this was more Genie's story than Aladdin, and I think they should have just done that. Make a movie of just Genie. Like I'd be more interested. I don't know. I maybe not. Like, am I gonna go see the new fucking other movies like Lion King? Yeah, I'm really excited about that. I'm sure I'm gonna fucking nitpick shit about that too, I'm excited to maybe see like a Hunchback of Notre Dame movie or a fucking, maybe not a maybe I don't know. There's so many ones they could choose, and there's so many ones that you really don't want to see. Like I'll see a Little Mermaid live action movie, but I guarantee that they got to get Ursula right. I could give less a fuck who plays Ariel and who plays fucking Eric and whatever, and Sebastian. But Ursula is why you see Little Mermaid. She's charismatic and fucking villainy, and you love a good villain. But this villain in this fucking movie was just like he. I tweet about this. I'm like, all right, I'm about to go see if Aladdin is going to show me a whole new world, or if it's a street rat. This was kind of a street rat movie. Uh, okay, so people have been actually asking me, what about the whole segment for a whole new world? It was fine. It was very brief. Somehow it seemed even shorter and less energetic and less romantic than the original. Like I don't get how the fuck they they could have gone and explored all sorts of shit. But it was okay. It just wasn't a highlight. The actress playing Jasmine did a fucking great job, but I don't know, man. Oh, also, I know I'm nitpicking about the fucking villain here, but like not having him turn into a snake at the fucking end of the movie, big disappointment. It should have gone there. They should have had him be a giant cobra and have a lad with a sword. But the final climactic situation was literally them on a chase on the carpet and having Jafar possess Iago and transform into a giant fucking angry parrot. Why? Why parrot? Go fucking snake. The motherfucker's got a cobra on it for his fucking staff. It's just a disappointing movie, man. I really would want to go into it in an open mind, but the fact that it ends with Will Genie and DJ Khaled doing like a fucked up, awful version of "Friend Like Me" again, like a remix. Not needed, not wanted, awful, and it's significantly worse than the "Friend Like Me" sequence that's in the movie. Just wasn't good, man. I was just disappointed. But all right, well, that's it. I feel like I need to talk about one more thing, separate to the movie. We, my partner CJ and I, we fucked up. Uh, we accidentally gave the wrong birth date on Twitter for our Potaskew Twitter handle. So that has been shut down, or it's been locked, and we are in the process of trying to bring that back. So if in the meantime, if you need to reach CJ or myself, you can tweet us at m_blade. That's I know it's I'm almost up to M as in Mary _blade, or me rants Rico until we get that shit working out. Other than that, we are still recording because I've been sick. We missed a week, but I should be back by this Sunday. Uh, Fuck yeah. This was not a diamond in the rough. This was just rough. Bye, guys.